Hello, my name is Emily Stern, and today I'm going to talk about psychedelic folk rock, and we're going to focus on two groups in particular that I think are very important, very crucial. First, you have Jefferson Airplane. Now, they were formed in 1965, and then they split, or should I say maybe rebranded in 1972, and they became Jefferson Starship. Their influences is pretty much a 50-50 split between the kind of British invasion drive and then the American folk side of things. Marty Balin, who formed the group, he formed other folk groups in the early 60s, but didn't really find much success. Following the lead of artists like the Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, the Byrds, he infused folk with rock and roll. It wasn't until he found like-minded artists that it kind of found its groove and brought them to success. So they released their first debut LP, which is Jefferson Airplane Takes Off. It did okay. It got most of its praise and reception in the Bay Area, and it didn't go any further than that. Then the lineup that's the most important is Marty Balin, Paul Cantor, Grace Slick, Jorma Kaukonen, Jack Cassidy, Spencer Dryden. The second record that Jefferson Airplane releases with this new lineup is the one that gets a lot of critical acclaim, and that's really where they take off. Grace Slick comes from another band called The Great Society, and during her time with them, she writes two songs. Well, she writes one of them, and the other one just kind of comes to her through connections that she has before Jefferson Airplane. These two songs are White Rabbit and Somebody to Love. These two songs are also Jefferson Airplane's most popular. They're included on Surrealistic Pillow, which is Jefferson Airplane's second album and the one that really gives them success. The name was actually suggested by Jerry Garcia, not the Rolling Stones, the Grateful Dead. So that's also another fun fact. This was their breakthrough record, and it has a song we're going to listen to called White Rabbit. But before we do so, here is a quote from Grace Slick. Through literacy, you can begin to see the universe. Through music, you can reach anybody. Between the two, there is you, unstoppable. Okay, I would have kept on singing if I let it play any longer. But second band, they are called Love. Now, Love was formed in Los Angeles in 1965, and then they split in 1970. But they were led by Arthur Lee, and a lot of the work was written by Brian McLean. Their influences were a crazy mix of folk rock, hard rock, blues, jazz, flamenco, orchestral pop, all over the place. But most broadly, they're a psychedelic rock band with a folk tinge. They didn't find much commercial success when they were active, but their record Forever Changes earned enormous praise later on. They're actually included in the Library of Congress's National Recording Registry in 2011, but it didn't happen until this century. Their breakthrough came with 7 and 7 Is, and it gave the band Love, as well as Elektra, their label, their first hit. The drummer, his name is Snoopy, had these thoughts on 7 and 7 Is. He said, acid flash imagery. Me and Arthur took a lot of LSD together in that period. Another important name is Jim Morrison. So Jim Morrison wanted to, quote, be as big as Love, and he even sent an early recording of the Doors' debut album to Arthur Lee himself, which is so cool. And then the last important name is the one and only Jimi Hendrix. Lee never really wanted to tour, and that was kind of the downfall of Love, but when they released an album in the early 70s called False Start, Jimi Hendrix gave a guitar cameo, and that's awesome. This is a quote by the famous Arthur Lee, and I think it encapsulates their influence, also their obscurity, really well. He says, we opened the gate for the Doors, Buffalo Springfield, and all the groups that followed. We were the beginning, the ones who spread the scene to San Francisco. We were only a small spark on the Sunset Strip at first, but we became a wildfire. This is a song, it's called You Set the Scene, and it's from their album Forever Changes.
Walk down your doorsteps, you'll take some more steps. What did you take them for? There's a private in my boat, and he wears fizz instead of medals on his coat. This is the time in life that I am living. I need you so, and if you take it easy, I'm still teething. I wanna love you, but
I can listen to that song all day, but we don't have all day. So, all that being said, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little something, and that's psychedelic rock for you. Reach out and we can talk about it at length anytime you wish. Thank you again. Peace and love.